So in front of me, I've got an iPhone 8 Plus. This is the 64GB version in silver. I went to the Apple Store on Sunday to pick this up, and the first thing I noticed was there was no line. Absolutely none. I just walked right in and I had my pick of whatever model I wanted. This was great for me, but it's a sign that there's very little demand for these phones. But that doesn't mean it's a bad phone. I actually think it's safe to say this is the best iPhone that Apple's ever made. It's just that the looming release of the iPhone X has put a serious dent in interest in the iPhone 8. Now, whether you're better off with an iPhone 8 or a 10, that's a whole other discussion we're not going to have here. The iPhone 8 is what we've got in front of us, so let's open up this puppy and take a look. You can see the design is super similar to the iPhone 8. The fact is, it probably should have been called the iPhone 7S, because that's what it really is. That's fine, because the design we got starting with the 6 is really a nice design. I'm not going to go over every spec or feature. Let's just talk about how the 8 is different from the 7. The first thing you'll probably notice is the glass back. I like it a lot, and I think it looks a lot better than the aluminum on the 7. It's cleaner, and it's more visually interesting. It's less slippery too, which should make the 8 easier to hold. Aside from looking good, what's nice about the glass back is that it lets the 8 charge wirelessly, and that's a first for an iPhone. But the problem is, like any phone with a glass back, you're just gonna have to cover it with a case. Yeah, you can risk it, but without a case, there's a good chance that the first time you drop it, the glass is going to shatter. Apple talks about how this is the strongest glass they've ever put on a smartphone, but I don't really know what that means. I've read that it still scratches, and from the drop tests I've seen, it's as breakable as ever. The 8 and the 8 Plus both come in silver, space gray, and a new creamy gold, which I think is really nice. I got in silver so that fingerprints would be less noticeable. Both phones also now start at 64GB instead of 32. The 8 is heavier than the 7, but the weight difference seems negligible. It's not something that's going to bother you, and I've actually read that the additional weight makes it feel more substantial in the hand. I don't disagree. As for the display, the only change is that the 8 now uses a True Tone display, which is something that was only available on the iPad until now. Basically, True Tone automatically adjusts the color temperature of the screen to match the temperature of the ambient light. And it's a subtle effect, but it's really nice, and I'm glad they're using it on their phones now. The speakers are also improved, so the 8 can get considerably louder than the 7. Finally, there's the new processor. The iPhone 8 uses the A11, which Apple says is 25% faster than the A10 in the 7, but really, how much faster do you need your phone to be? My 6S is already fast enough for everything I want to do, and I'm not sure I'm really going to notice the extra speed. We'll see. So there it is. It's a great looking phone, but not much is new. There's a decent number of improvements, and they're nice to have, but you're gonna have to pay for them. For example, the iPhone 8 Plus I have here is $799 US or $1059 Canadian, while the 7 Plus is only $669 US or $899 Canadian. I think I would be happy with the 8 Plus as my daily driver, but to be honest, I want a better screen-to-body ratio. It's time. I'll use this until Google announces the Pixel 2 on October 4th. Then I'm going to take a final look at the high-end phones from Google, Samsung, LG, and Apple and decide what to get next. As someone that's used iOS since the beginning, I'm surprising myself at how close I am to pulling the trigger and switching to Android. If you like this video, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, and share. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.